All right, guys. So in this segment, I'm going to be talking a little bit about marketing. You've already found a client, you've already found a potential customer or a prospect or a suspect, as we would call them. A prospect is somebody who's a good fit for your business. A suspect is someone who doesn't know you, doesn't trust you, doesn't know what you do, doesn't know who you are, doesn't know what value you can provide. A prospect is a little bit more targeted. Say you know the revenue of their company, you know that they can afford your marketing services. They're hiring, so they're spending money, they're growing their company. They have a website, they're actively trying to build, or at least trying to have some kind of online presence. They have a social media account, they're not using it correctly, but at least they're trying. So we're going to talk a little bit about marketing to your customer. Right now, you're not in sales mode, you're not trying to close a deal, you're saying, hey, over here, look at me, let's do some business. All right, how can I help you? What are you trying to do? What are you doing in your business right now? Let's vibe a little bit. Let's talk about some solutions, and let's actually get into some marketing, actually getting the attention of your customer. That's all marketing is, really. It's a sequence of tactics that you use in psychology, appealing to people's self-interest. One of the books I'm going to recommend here is Ogilvy on Advertising. This is a little bit about direct response, and I shamelessly went through and kind of used this headline here in one of my mailers. It's called The Advertising Agency with a Secret Weapon, and I talk a little bit about direct response and how we can use direct response, and just Ogilvy's words here. I'm going to quote the book Ogilvy on Advertising here by David Ogilvy. It's direct response advertising refers to any kind of advertising that seeks a direct response, an order, or an inquiry from the customer, as opposed to, say, billboard advertising, television advertising, which is just brand. There's a lot of companies out there. Call now, 1995 for a special offer. That's direct response, as opposed to Pepsi Cola. It'll change your life, and then it cuts to the next commercial. So that would be direct response versus indirect. So direct response can be included in all forms of advertising: press, magazines, television, radio, cinema, any advertising medium. Direct response can be direct mail, information posted to people whom factors are known, such as their income bracket, their occupation, and their interests. Direct response communication can be by telephone, as in a phone script that we'll talk about in this module. And it can also be goods and services being offered over the telephone to obtain an order. You can also obtain appointments. So if you're trying to sell over the phone, a lot of times with marketing consulting, you'll be selling an appointment, a time, a schedule for them to come in for you to come and take a look at their business and really get them to open up a little bit more and give you some more information. So direct response advertising also includes two-way television. This medium has been revolutionizing the direct marketing fields in Europe and the United States. In every instance, advertising, any kind of advertising, mailing piece, or telephone call includes a call to action or a request for a response. DR, or direct response advertising, gives you the ability, unique in advertising, to measure results and returns on investments precisely. And that's exactly what you're going to be doing for a lot of your clients, and that's a big selling point, to say that we can measure the effects of our work right away. Within 30 to 90 days, we can start to get some actual data, because a lot of even startups, they don't really have a lot of data on who their target customer is. So if you're going in with a business who doesn't have a lot of established marketing data, it may take up to 30 to 90 days to actually start to build some data and figure out what your results are. So direct response is, in addition, the pinpoint of your marketplace, where you can pinpoint your market instead of reaching to audience composed of mostly poor prospects. And that's what we want to do with our business: get straight to the revenue, get straight to the cash, instead of wasting our time with a whole bunch of people who just aren't a good fit. Maybe they can't afford you, or maybe they can afford you, maybe they're too big for you. Maybe you wouldn't be able to actually service them properly. Maybe you don't really have all the experience needed in the whole teamwork that might be needed for a large company. Say, someone like Pepsi Cola, when they sign an ad campaign, they'll do $250,000 in advertising, but they sign up with the big agency because they know they're going to have 25 or 30 people working on a project. all at once, and they know that it's going to get done, and they have a track record and all that. If you don't have a huge track record, if you don't have a track record at all, you got to start using data like this to go in and say, hey, direct response is going to help us get results and measure those results as soon as possible within 30 to 90 days. And depending on what your experience level, you can give case studies and things like that. If you don't have that data, you need to use market data. You need to use market data of what's happening inside the industry and what you've seen. Do a marketing campaign for yourself and figure it out. Just look at cost per clicks and conversion rates and look and see what's working in the world of business right now, so you can go in and say, hey, this is what the market looks like. So welcome to this module. Let's get into it.